Assalamu alaikum. Hussein reporting from. We are here at the Wilson Park, and the area is called the D. Hardison Center, and it's on the backside of the Torrance Farmers Market. Today we are here around from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and inshallah those volunteers, they are watching me on this live video. If you're willing to participate, Why Islam certified volunteers are welcome, and other volunteers, they want to come at the walk-in, they're also welcome. Torrance IIT Dawah Committee members are also welcome here. So this is again the Torrance IIT Dawah Committee and Why Islam as a whole. So we are here starting our Dawah activities, and this is a spot we chose today. And inshallah in future we will be, this is a new spot actually. We are introducing a new place. We've been doing Dawah in this area a long time, but this is the specialist spot is actually in the back of the farmers market, and this is inside the Wilson Park. So alhamdulillah, so it's a free speech area, and a lot of other folks, they come and they talk about their faith and their causes, and different organization comes in. So alhamdulillah, we get this opportunity. So today again we are distributing the free copy of the Quran, which is in Spanish and also in English. These are the copies of the Quran. It's a very handy copies of Quran, a very simple English in that, and it's easy for people to understand. And in the morning we chat with this lady actually and explain to her about the understanding how Muslims understand the belief and how they coexist with other communities together, and how the perspective of Islamic perspective of things to get to know each other and live in a peace and understand and grow in knowledge and wisdom and provide this benefit to the mankind. So that is the general understanding of Islamic perspective we are providing, and this is exactly we as a Muslim supposed to come out and talk to people, make difference in your life and other people's lives, and this is how the words can go with us and give a good impression to our young generation also, because they are looking for some guide thing. So as a Muslim ourselves, we have a responsibility to learn and understand things in a proper manner. And like I said, when people ask me about the what is Islam, I say, listen, this is a very simple thing. There's only one creator, everything else is creation. So number one, you worship the creator, not the creation. That's the one thing is clear. So now, then they will ask you about, so what's our purpose of life? Okay. So I said, before we go to the purpose of life, we have to understand the nature of creator. The creator is not like us. Creator everything, the creator created, and you will find this. There are 4 types of creation you understand in the universe altogether. So big giant bodies of sun, star, moon, galaxies. Other one, you're gonna see the plants, the trees, all the greeneries around us. You know, they have a life. They have senses. Third thing is that we see animals, the bird, the insect, all those things, they have an instinct and they have a feeling too. But the human beings have more than anything else, because if you look at all those creations, the human being has an intellect.
Jesus is the way. Jesus is the only way.
Okay. The human being has an intellect. The human being has an intellect and a free will. Now, the creator of heaven and earth, in Arabic we call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he created human being so he can use his intellect in a proper way and use his free will in a right manner. Okay, 2 things. Using intellect in a proper way and using your free will in a direction that you always inclining toward truth. And that's one of the reasons that he made the human being a special creation, so that he should not bow down to no other creation. Why? Because these creations have no intellect, no free will. So bowing down to trees, stars, sun, moon, this does not make any sense, because that's why he does not approve the worshipping of these creation, because you don't want to lower your self-esteem to worship these creation. So if you ask, you worship cow or a star or sun or moon or human being, they say no. They have the same creation. The one who created everything deserve our worship. deserve our appreciation, and we should be thanking to the Creator who created us and gave us an intellect. So never ever lower your self-esteem to any of these creations. One of the statement from the Umar radiallahu anhu is the second Khalifa of the Prophet in the Islam. He says that the human being born as a free. Their mother gave a child a birth as a free slave. Don't make him a slave. But human beings sometimes become a slave to these creation. You know? That's why the Creator of heaven and earth wants to liberate human beings from the slavery of these creations. He wants you to worship Him alone, so that you can be full freedom. You can acquire full freedom. That once you recognize that you have a human being has an intellect and free will, how you understand this, that we have to use this intellect in a proper way, because the Creator of heaven and earth has a source. The source of this intellect is the Creator of heaven and earth. You need the science, technology, philosophy. If you ask where this intellect came from, they will not going to know. But they need the intellect to know this science, technology, and philosophy, everything, because you require intellect. But the source of intellect is the Creator of heaven and earth. So that's how sometimes you explain to people, they understand from that perspective that we were given an intellect, and using this intellect in a proper way and choosing our free will, so it should inclining toward truth. Because that's why one of the verses in the Quran, if you look at the Prophet Abraham, we try to explain them. We say, indeed, my Lord has guided me to a straight path. A correct religion is the way of Abraham, inclining toward truth. He was not among those who associated others with Allah. Now that's very important to know, because the Creator of heaven and earth, he confirmed that the correct religion is the way of Abraham. Why? Because he was inclining toward truth, and he never worshipped nobody but the Creator. So he fully liberated himself 100%. That's why some story in the Quran talks about when you look at the sun, star, moon, and he said, no, they're not God. Why should we worship these big giant bodies, Because we got the intellect. And that's how the beauty of Islam is. It liberates the human being from the worship of all those creation and makes you a full, free creation. And a creation who thinks about himself in a proper way, and listen to what the Creator commanded him. And he apply this wisdom in this life, and he spend his time. If you work hard in a way that you make your decision in the right direction and use your free will towards inclining toward truth, and if you die upon this truth, you made your goal, you made your purpose in this life. Because every human being will live for a short time. Either he's going to die upon truth or he's going to die upon falsehood. So never attempt. If you attempt doing good, you will, inshallah, you will, say God willing, you will always going to die upon truth. But if you're not going to practice, you're not going to listen, then you will definitely deviate it from the truth, and you end up with dying with the falsehood. So this is the main understanding of philosophy in this way, the Islamic understanding. Another thing is, you're always inclining towards also peace. Truth and the peace. These two things are again together, because you have to have a peaceful place or peace. You have to incline toward peace first, so in order to convey the message to people. Because if there are people around, they have a noise and things, nobody gonna listen. So a human being need to learn how to experience peace in his life and create a condition of peace also. If there is no peace, then you try to work hard to create a condition of peace. And that's where then you're gonna start convey the message. This is a very good understanding. Maulana Wahiduddin Khan, when I was listening to some of his lectures, he says that the Muslim understanding sometime, or other people, generally people think we need to have a justice. No justice, no peace. He said, no. For the time being, you look where the justice will come. But first you need to think about work towards the peace. If you work towards the peace, and then justice will follow. Sometimes we'll say, no, we have to acquire justice first, then the peace will follow. Although they could be true, there's no something, but the wisdom Maulana Wahiduddin explained from the Quran and the Sulh Hudaybiyah. He says that in that incident, because I quote this Maulana, it's important because he said that in Sulh Hudaybiyah, the conditions were very difficult. People say, why should we accept that? But the Prophet of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he looked for the idea of the peace. And and Allah gave the victory after that because of that peace. So this is how it is. Sometimes you see the difficult situation in life, but if you work towards the creating condition of peace, then definitely the victory will follow. And that's basically beautiful message, a lesson we understand from this Sulh Hudaybiyah, and Maulana Wahiduddin explained him very well actually, alhamdulillah. And this is a copy of the Quran. We have some of those, the thing he introduces himself, how you understand this. Because the beautiful thing about this Quran is also because it has chapters, and then he gives also the creation plan of introduction. It's a lot of time when we go and buy a copy of the Quran, we do not know. He gives you, let me show you the introduction. He gives an introduction, what is the Quran is. And after that introduction, he also talks about the why is the creation plan of God. Creation plan of God. Then the book of divine warning. What the purpose of life of human being. And various sections you will find it. And it's very simple and plain English. And also has a, one of the things is, what was the time in that time, the Arabia? What's the map is over there, it also talks about, and also chronological timelines of the various events at the time of Prophet Muhammad, and after that how the various events are following it. So this is a very comprehensive understanding. If you go read a few pages of introduction, the creation plan of God, and the map of that time, and the timeline and chronology, I recommend this is a very good Quran for the ordinary people. I'm not going to say it's very sophisticated English, like class, the quality-wise English, but the message conveys to the ordinary people is very well in that way. But there are other Quran I probably recommend also the Sahih International, and that's for the people, the sisters accepted Islam in here. They understand the English of this society, and they translated it. That was also well recommended. The other one is the Quran is the Abdul Halim from UK, that has a beautiful flowery poetic Arabic in that way. People love that Quran too, but you require I would not recommend for ordinary common people, but this is people have really have a knowledge or wisdom in that way to try to understand. So there are various translations are available. Again, all those translations are the interpretation based on the knowledge of the person who understands the Arabic, who understands the English, and you cannot say they are 100% Quran. Okay? That's the one thing you have to learn. Still, everybody who follow the copy of the Quran or in the translation, they need to learn. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there are two types of verses. One is called the muhkam and one is mutashabih. So the explicit always, whoever translate, alhamdulillah, whoever translate, explicit are clear. When it comes to the tawheed, the basic concept of Islam is always there. But when there are mutashabih or there are something which you really need, they require a background knowledge or the incident took place at that time, so that those areas are very important. So then you seek the guidance from the scholar who have studied the particular subject. Same thing when you quote the Quran or Hadith, make sure you do not say it came into one Hadith or something. No, you always give a reference, whether it's an authentic Hadith or not, either from Sahih Bukhari or Sahih Muslim, or sometimes you quote the translation of the Quran, you quote the scholar also who translated, because you want to make sure when you deliver knowledge, make sure you have a references properly, because give authenticity that this is a work of authentic work or something. Because saying something about religion and you attribute to Allah or His Prophet, it's going to be dangerous in the day of judgment. So my brother and sister watching me, all this, whenever you quote hadith or something, make sure do some research. There are a lot of false hadith, there are a lot of weak hadith, a lot of fabricated thing, and people do not have an. If you do not know something, you say I don't know. Give a 1-877 Y Islam, that number also too. And not necessary that everybody has 100% knowledge about things. People require studies. Even the school of hadith, require 8 years of study, a college of a school of scientific, the science of the hadith. The idea is, when you quote something, make sure, try to quote something explicit, authentic, true, and the majority scholar agreed on that. Those are the good idea to convey the message. Because the number one is our source of our, somebody will ask me, how you say the, I say, listen, our faith or our belief is based on information. If information is correct, your faith will be strong and correct and truth, have a more certainty, because when you acquire knowledge, you become more certain about that. So the information is correct and true, and scholar agreed on it, and there is an ijma there, there's a consensus there, then definitely that information easily you can convey. Because this is the time we live. Every time you have information on social media, on Facebook and YouTube, everywhere. But how much information the people do research and they carry information, what percentage is correct? Sometimes you say there is in one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said. Do you know, you say the one hadith the Prophet ﷺ said, what that hadith is? Where that hadith came from? Is this the true hadith? Is it the weak hadith? Or is it just the fabricated? Does this hadith have the concept, the principle in the Quran mentioned? It does not contradict with that? Okay. Then you can say that the hadith is there, it does not contradict the principle, but I cannot attribute to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because since it's not proven to be authentic. So anything proven to authentic, and a scholar agree, that can you attribute to Prophet. Otherwise, we have no right to attribute anything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is my message to my brother and sister who is watching, listening to me, seeing me on this live. This is the message to all of you guys, because time live, we have to be, everything comes out of our mouth is written by these angels. And Allah will hold us responsible in the day of judgment. So the Ramadan month is coming, and we hope, we wish you everybody good Ramadan, inshallah, that we're going to be following this Ramadan, and we try our best to learn as much as acquire knowledge. And if we have time, come down to this place also. Inshallah, we are planning to come do a couple of tables here in the month of Ramadan. And if you wants to participate with us, do it, and also support the Why Islam organization, which is the project of ICNA. We have our center is in Corona. Now we have a permanent place for Why Islam Dawah Center. ICNA has a lot of project, and Why Islam is the very dear project, and people love that project since we came out with this project. So alhamdulillah, so everything's so far is looks promising and beautiful. So I will leave you at this point. If you will again, so today we are here up to 1 o'clock, and this is on the side of D. Hardy Hardison Center, and it's in the Wilson Park on the back of the farmers market. This farmers market is every Saturday. It's one of the best farmers market here. It's very popular. You can come here, even find some good vegetable and fruits also too, and also participate with us. Jazakallah khair. Hussain reporting from Wilson Park. Finish, brother.